Hello everybody and welcome to a very special episode of the Final Third. Here today, we have a very special Fanzone edition, Man United edition, and I'm here with an all-star guest list. I'm here with Aaron and I'm here with Audrey Milan. How are you guys today?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. Yourself?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. We're alive. It's a pandemic. Can't ask for more than that. So gonna jump right into it. I feel like last season, it must have been like the lowest that United fans walked into a season. Like, I don't think there was many United fans that thought we'd finish in the top four last season. Are any of you feeling worse this season than you were last season? Do you feel like...
I actually said we would get top four. Like, jokes aside, I said us and Chelsea.
Fair enough. But
I deleted the tweet because I didn't want people to come... I
know by like January, February, when we lost at home to Burnley, it was like, this shit ain't happening.
Sorry.
But how are we feeling about this season? Are we feeling more optimistic than in comparison to last season? Where do we stand?
Should I go first or Aaron?
Audrey.
Go first?
No, Audrey, go ahead.
Do you know what? Yeah. I personally think top four is going to remain the same.
Okay.
And reason to being is that Spurs are still in transition. Arsenal are still in transition. Really and true, Leicester, they're a bookie team because I'm not going to lie, a lot of people thought they would still be in the top four in it, but look how far short they fell. Top four ain't changing. And with the people that were linked to coming to the squad, I genuinely believe that we will finish above Chelsea again. And I personally feel like the gap will be wider. It wouldn't be same level on points and goal difference. Because at the end of the day, Chelsea, they still have Kepa in it. Kepa's still a bad goalkeeper. Yes, what's his name is crap. David, what's his name? The girl is crap. But Kepa's worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what's your thoughts?
This season, as it stands, I think I'm going into the season with the same feeling. I still feel like we need to strengthen in certain areas because I feel like last season, before we started, I said we're literally one or two injuries away from having a crisis. Because at the time, I think people were already calling for, reinforcements in midfield because we knew that, in relation to what I said about us being one or two injuries away from a crisis, if Pogba gets injured or at the time, Matic or McTominay or whoever was playing in midfield, if one of them or two of them get injured, then it's looking peak. And
I'm sorry, Aaron, I'm not being funny. What's his name shouldn't be starting anyway. McTominay shouldn't be starting anyway.
Exactly, but at the time, we were fully relying on these guys, and that already was wrong. And then obviously what happened. Pogba got injured, was out for 7 months. And something tells me if Pogba wasn't injured, I don't think we would have been in for Bruno in January,
Yeah.
I really don't. But this season, we're kind of, we've got some good players in midfield. Obviously Van der Beek came in, which I'm happy about, but I still feel like we need to strengthen in the central defensive midfield. I'm happy that we're getting linked with different left backs because I don't feel confident going into a Champions League season with Luke Shaw and Williams being our left backs. And for some reason, I keep forgetting that Williams is actually not a left back; he's a right back. But he's been actually quite decent in that position. So.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Not certain games.
No, come on.
Not every game.
No, guys, let's be serious now. He struggles. He does struggle.
Especially, I agree with Audrey.
About him is his recovery, but he does struggle. There was the last when we played against what's that? Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to. Football's been out. When we played against is it Sevilla? He was awful. He was terrible. And you can't go to the Champions League playing like that because we'll get exposed, we'll get done for. Like, he's sorry, he should, me personally, I'm understanding he's still a young player, whatever, but he should go out on loan. He's not a squad player. He's not a squad player for me. Like, I'm so sorry if the top reds come and fight my head or whatever, but it is what it is. Like, Jen, it is what
you know
it is.
what? I feel like even though he's played with the first team last season, I feel like he should have gone on loan this season. The fact that, you know, his number got downgraded and he's got a new contract, and that tells me that he's going to be kept in the squad, which I'm not really happy about. I just feel like at the moment we're just giving out new contracts for no reason, because in the old days it used to be, well, normally how it should be is you get a new contract based on what you've done. They look at your performances. If you're a striker, they look at your goals. If you're a defender, they look at the clean sheets and so on and so forth, and they go, okay, this has been good, this hasn't been good, but, you know, based on the good stuff, there's more good stuff than bad stuff. Okay, you deserve a new contract. I don't know why we've given Brandon Williams a new deal. Honestly, I don't. But yeah, unfortunately, he's going to have to be in the squad. I feel like we are going to go in for a new left back, and Williams is going to be back up to Wan-Bissaka, because I don't think Dallow's going to stay. I don't think Ollie fancies him. Even though I do, there are some stuff. There is some stuff that I like about Dallow, but obviously defensively there's a lot of work. But I don't think Ollie fancies him. But yeah, overall, I'm going into the season with the same feeling as last season. We need to strengthen, because the Champions League is a different, it's levels, man. It's a different planet. I mean, we've all seen the demolition of Bayern Munich, you know, and Barcelona, the demolition of Barcelona against Bayern Munich. We've seen it all. And I keep saying it, I sound like a broken record, but every platform that I've been on, every platform that I've been on, I've said it. We haven't won the Europa League, which means even though we are qualified for the Champions League, we're going to be in pot 2. So we're going to get one of the big boys, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Real Madrid, Juve, Bayern, Porto, Sevilla, who won the Europa League, of course, Zenit and PSG. Am I confident to face any of these teams right now? Maybe some of them, you know, the Zenits, the Portos, but all these the rest of the teams, I'm not confident facing these teams right now. So we need to strengthen as quick as possible, because it's the 9th of September now. We've got less than a month left. So hopefully we get our business done quickly.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'll probably regret saying this, but I promise you, Man United can beat Barcelona.
Barcelona, yes, I think so.
I would agree with you, Audrey. But when we come up to the big stage, we're just as shameless as Barcelona. That's the problem. Like, you've shown last season, kind of, that we don't really have that big game bottle, that big game metal. That even though Barcelona is probably in its worst form that any of us have seen while we've been alive, I still don't believe that United, in the shape that we are, has that big game ability to turn up a new camp and even get a result. So it's still kind of a weird situation.
No, but I'm sorry. Do you know what? I'm going to disagree with you there, because when we did play against Barcelona, fair enough, we didn't win or whatever. It wasn't that bad. And with the new signings that we have, I believe we can give them a game.
I don't doubt we can give them a game. I don't doubt that. But at the same time, you saw against Sevilla in the semi-final, we had lots of chances to kill that off and get to the final. And on another day, we take those chances. But on the day when we needed to take the chances, we didn't. So maybe with a year together, possibly the mentality will change and they've grown up a little bit. But right now, I just don't see the mentality being that they can take that sort of big step.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, because when we had the chance to get top 4, we just bought it. It was just by luck that Tottenham happened to beat Leicester for us. That's why we're still in the top 4, innit? You're right.
West Ham at home. The
Southampton game was pathetic.
Southampton, even forget Southampton before that, West Ham at home. Those are, even though Southampton are a good team, that's a gimme if you're trying to get into the Champions League. West Ham and Southampton at home, take 6 out of 6 points, you've secured Champions League. But we let it go to the last day, and it was kind of just, it felt like it was crawling to the end of the season rather than striding there, which kind of just dampened the whole restart, which started off well, but yeah, completely dampened it. But I'm gonna move on to I'll go through. Finish off your point.
But I understand where you're coming from. But don't you feel like it was players being tired and unfit? Like, couple of put it like this. I understand lockdown was for a couple months here. Some of them came out their routine. So I'm not gonna be proper harsh on them, because you can see that they were tired. I swear Harry Maguire has has probably played most of Man United
every minute this season.
Every like, there you go. Look, Bruno as well. So I know, like, do you understand? Like,
yeah. No, I hear you completely. That definitely played a factor, but at the same time, some of it looked as if it was relying on individual brilliance rather than any sort of tactical plan from Ole. It was looking at Martial, Pogba, Bruno to try and create something, and in the end, it just kind of fizzled out. Like, it started off well, as you said, but as they tired towards the end of the restart, it all just sort of. It looked so sluggish and so muddled. It didn't look as if there was a clear plan, which points to Ole as much as the players.
But then everyone knows that Man United don't have any tactics. People say, "Oh, it's counter-attacking football," but like you said, it's down to players' brilliance. I think the problem with Man United, we have good players, but we're not a good team. We're not a good structured team. We don't have to play good football. Yes, we saw a glimpse of it, but if you look at... I can't believe I'm saying this, man. If you look at Arsenal, they have structure. You can see what Mikel was doing with their team.
100%. You can see...
Yeah, and you know what? On Arsenal as well, I've seen there's a lot of training videos that I've watched because, you know, one of my friends who supports Arsenal watches a lot of their training videos, and you can clearly see like patterns that they're training on with Arteta and that playing up from the back. You know that goal they scored against Liverpool?
Yeah.
It's you can tell it's repetition. They've done that hundreds of times in training to the point where it's just automatic. How many times have we seen Raheem Sterling just pop up at the back post and just, you know, tap it in? It's repetition because he knows as soon as De Bruyne gets that ball on the right-hand side, exactly, it's not by accident. He's going to whip that one in. Whoever's at the front post can score it, penalty spot, someone else can score it. If not, Raheem's there at the end, back post, and he's going to score it. So I feel like we lack those automatic moves, those playing patterns that we should work on in training. And I agree with both of you where when you say that we rely on individual brilliance, too often, especially after when the restart happened, too often we relied on Bruno to just, you know, pop up with a bit of magic and then plays it to Martial, and then Martial has to finish it. You know, we actually have threats on the pitch, but not everyone is actually a clear threat, if you get what I mean. Like, Marcus Rashford is a good player, man. He's not dead. He's a good player, but I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe, obviously, it's the antics off the field with the whole politics stuff, but I don't know, man. I'm going to have to stop you there.
Rashford is carrying an injury. You think, like, he was out for a long period of time. So, like, with me, I'm not going to criticize him because he was bad. He was poor. But you need to remember, he did have injury. You can't expect a player to come back from injury when he's been carrying it.
I still feel like he was carrying the injury.
Knew about it.
Like he was carrying it.
Sorry?
So I still feel like he was carrying it after the lockdown, after the games restarted. I still feel like he was playing with the injury because
they revealed it. He was carrying an ankle injury.
He got a new injury on his ankle.
Yeah.
So, like, I can see everyone's frustration with Rashford, but for me, he's a good player and he's going to go to the top. Like, patience is key. Bear in mind, before, I remember United fans saying, loan Rashford, he's this and that, Tammy's better, blah, blah, blah. But, sorry, I'm going to be shameless. Since Rashford hasn't been playing for England, you can see that England's been shit. So Rashford is a very important player for both Manchester United and England. Just give the guy time and patience. Considering he's won the Europa League. Without Rashford, we wouldn't won the Europa League. I'm not gonna say Ibra. Yes, Ibra played a part, but I'm gonna be shameless and say Rashford played a part. He won the FA Cup. All he needs to win is the Champions League and the Prem. Calm. He ain't even 25 yet.
Well, I think our medical staff is a joke anyway. To be letting a young player like Rashford carry such an injury, even before the ankle one, it's the back injury. That was the one that really annoyed me because there was a game on TV. I can't remember what game it was.
The Wolves game.
Europa League one.
It was a Wolves game. He came on, and he had to come back off.
Yeah, and I remember when we drew that, because it was a replay. When we drew that first game at the Molineux, I said, this is an unnecessary game added to our schedule and it's going to drain our players even more. And what happens? Rashford gets injured. And then they let him, obviously afterwards it came out that they let him play with injections and they it really annoyed me because there was a game on TV where Van Persie was one of the pundits and he was saying that he had the same type of injury. He's retired, yeah, but he's still suffering from that injury today. So a double stress fracture is not something to play with. You could finish that kid's career if he would have kept on playing. You could have finished his career. So, or damaged his career, should I say. So I think our medical staff it's the same thing that happened with Pogba. Came back from an injury. Everyone thought he had the green light, he's fit, gets injured again. Then he had to get his own specialist and people criticized him for getting his own specialist. And I'm like, well, our medical team is a joke. So why not get your own specialist in if the club doctors and everyone involved in the medical team can't do their job properly? So same with Maguire. Maguire as well. I heard that he's been playing with injections and Ollie's been saying that, I want him to play because he's a warrior. I'm like, bro, this ain't 1999, bro. Like, we're in different times. Players nowadays need rest because the game is getting quicker and quicker every single year. So our medical team, man, is a joke.
Saying that, we're going to move on to transfers. There's the big elephant in the room in terms of transfers, in terms of United, which everyone's talking about. We're going to discuss that first. When is Phil Jones going to leave our club? I feel like that's the biggest. We need to discuss this first. Phil Jones and Marcus Rojo are still drawing salaries from our club, and it's enough. It's enough.
Oh, God.
We need to discuss. We need to get this elephant out of the room. Someone needs to talk about it. Because Jones is just in the corner somewhere, acting as if he's not a professional footballer. He doesn't have to play anymore. We need to that's the first transfer business I want to see happen from this date. Like,
I swear, I swear we gave him a contract for 3 years.
Remember what I said earlier? We're just giving out we're just giving out new contracts to everyone. So now we've given new contracts to players who are on high wages, so we can't sell them because nobody wants to pay those wages.
Who wants to pay Phil Jones 150k a week? Who wants to do that?
There you go.
Who wants to do that? That
is the exact same reason why Rojo hasn't gone yet, Phil Jones hasn't gone yet. The list goes on and on. Lingard hasn't gone yet. Pereira hasn't gone yet because they're all on high wages.
Hey. Before Jesse goes, Phil Jones has to leave first because at least Jesse has done something.
They can all leave at the same time. We can all...
It's the same for me. They can all leave for me.
We're not doing individual leaving parties for them. It's one leaving party for everyone. One cake for everyone. One cake.
Hey, Phil Jones is so crap.
All of them. Onto slightly less.
Phil Jones is actually bad though. He's actually a clown.
He's a man clown. I can't lie. Because how are you still getting injury the same?
This is what I mean.
As a 19 that he had when he was 19, the same injury problems every year that you can only play like 10 games. Come on, man.
That's the thing, man. And because of their high wages, it's going to be hard to get rid of them. So the only way I can see Phil Jones leave is if he takes a pay cut and then agrees to join another club, which I don't know if he wants to do, because he's probably thinking, I'm getting good money at Man United. Why would I take a pay cut to go somewhere else? Like, I'm going to stay and get my money. So
and that's the problem with Man United, though. That's the problem with Man United. I actually don't blame these players sitting at the club not wanting to leave when they're on that much money. But then again, good on Man United. I don't know why Man United didn't do the same thing with what they've done with under Herrera, because they weren't trying to listen to him when he was asking for higher wages. So why the hell would they come and offer Phil Jones 3 years again?
And it's so inconsistent.
You know what,
club is so inconsistent with it.
Personally, I feel like Phil Jones has a secret, and that's why they have a bondage with that man, because boy, he's probably hiding something, because that's mad. That's mental.
Do you know how many people have been saying that?
He's got Woodward's news, son. He's got Woodward's news.
Yeah, he must have someone's news, man. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got them in his phone. That's why he's not going anywhere.
Can you guys... Do you know what? Yeah, I actually don't blame Man United for trying to pay in installments for Jadon, because did you know that Rojo, Jones, Romero, and Jesse and Smalling is 500 a week all combined? That's mental.
That's a lot of money, man.
A lot of money. Speaking on Jadon Sancho, do we think that transfer is going to happen? Because it's been the big mooted one. Everyone's been talking about it. We've been in talks for what seems like months now. Do we feel that that's going to get over the line?
Do you know what? Yeah, I believe so. I believe it. I do. I actually do. Because I know it's not going to be another Vidal where we wait throughout the whole summer for us to be disappointed. Do you remember that summer when we were late to Vidal and nothing happened?
I feel like that was LVG.
Every morning, I remember myself.
Yeah.
Sorry?
So I feel like that was the one on the LVG, on the Van Gaal, I think like 2015. Just off the...
I feel like with this one, it's different. Like, there's progression. Like, there's updates. And it seems like he doesn't come to Man United.
I feel like, I think he's going to come, but we're going to drag this one out. I think this is going to be like the Bruno one. Because it's such a big name and everyone's expecting him and everyone's been calling for his name and everyone's been wanting for Manchester United to sign him. And obviously he is a huge name in Europe. I think we're going to get this one done, but it's just going to take time. I wouldn't be surprised if we announce him on deadline day, honestly.
Yeah, it feels like one of the size of the transfer, and they're asking for, it seems like they're asking for most of the money up front in this COVID era. It's like, it's definitely one that's going to take its time to sort out the finer details. I do have confidence that it's going to get done eventually, but it's one of those ones where you ideally want everybody in for the start of the season. You don't want them coming in like in October, a month of the season's gone and they're still having to learn the tactics. Sancho's a great player, so I'm sure he'll fit in, but at the same time, you want everything to be ready for when the season starts, so you get off to the best possible start. But I do feel like it will get done eventually, but yeah, it's one of those long-winded ones.
No, but you know what? Yeah, they're gonna sub, because if you deep it, Dortmund, they're like Ajax. They produce players just to sell, like Southampton as well. So they have no threats. That's how their club runs.
That's what's annoying me, kind of like, because they're moving as if they don't need the P, but at the same time they kind of hold all the cards. So it's not like he's on a 3-year deal. We want him. We clearly desperately want him. So it's not like they're in a situation where they're forced to sell. But at the same time, we know you want the P's as well. So everyone just come to an agreement.
But I swear,
get Sancho in that shot.
I read online that apparently Dortmund added an extra year on Sancho's thing.
Yeah, they did. Well, it expires in 2023 now. So yeah, it's a 3-year contract. It's not even like he's in the last 2 years where it'll be kind of they have to sell now. So I think it's pretty much up to United. Put up the money to Dortmund, and you get the player. Moving on to other positions, where else do you feel like United have to strengthen in order to be competitive this season?
I
feel like, yeah, I was just going to say that as well. I think we need a left-footed centre-back, preferably. Someone to give Maguire and Lindelof a bit of competition, because I feel like both of them are too comfortable. Both of them make, significant amount of errors. So I feel like we just need to get someone in there as well with Champions League experience, because Maguire hasn't. I don't think he's played. He hasn't played Champions League before. Well, Lindelof has with Benfica, but it's in and out. It's not every single season. So I would try and get someone in, either young or someone with experience in European competitions. And like I said, preferably left-footed. Well, I would have said Koulibaly, but City are after him now. I think I would say centre-back. Yeah, I would say centre-back.
I'm gonna be annoyed as well. Like, for me, if Sancho don't come here, I personally feel like we need a backup striker for Martial. So let's say certain games we might not need Martial to play in it. We can't bring on Igalo, and if Sancho don't come, Greenwood's gonna play on the right. Do you understand? Yeah. So where do you go from there? The mistake Man United made was, in fact, it wasn't even a mistake. It's probably the best of my life when I saw Lukaku. But the only downside of it is that they didn't replace him. They haven't replaced, what's his name? What's that? Sancho. They didn't replace them. So we're a man short or so.
I definitely say that we're light in
That's
the
true.
front line. Say we're light in the front line, because if something does happen, assuming we don't get Sancho, or even if we do get Sancho, you have four attackers to go into 3 spaces. I'd say we probably need one more to really be competitive this season, because if an injury happens, because this is going to be a very condensed season, so you can expect muscle injuries, players having to take games off essentially, because trying to play all of these games in a condensed space is going to lead to tiredness. So we definitely need more rotation and more quality. Regardless for what he was brought in to do, he scored in the cups, scored against the lesser teams, and for that, I hope he had a good time. But at the end of the day, it's not really the United standard that we need to be competitive. We need to bring in somebody that can actually impact games, because you saw, I think he was brought in the Europa League and against Sevilla, and you could see the kind of the quality. He didn't really stack up, didn't really have an impact on the game. We need players that can come in and really make an impact.
Sorry, I'm back. I'm not being shameless because Garda replied to me.
I knew it.
I'm not shameless, but sorry, when he does come on, before lockdown, he was actually all right. Obviously, he's put on weight. You can see it. He's been eating too much. But prior to that, he did make a good impact, and that was in the Man City game. He was the reason why we managed to score the second goal, because of his hold-up play.
That's true. I won't take away that Man City game away from. I won't take that Man City game away from him. But at the same time, like, we need. It won't always be that situation. Sometimes we're going to be chasing a goal, and how useful is he going to be then? Like, how useful is he going to be when we need to stretch the game and try and break down opponents? Sometimes we're going to need that from him, and I'm not really sure he can really bring that to the table.
I agree with you. You're right.
He's a United fan, so I hope you enjoyed his time at Old Trafford. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's only staying till January, so.
Yeah, I didn't want him to be here, but he scored the goals. He managed to fulfill a childhood dream. You can ask more of him.
Exactly.
But you know how Man United not serious. You know, Man United went from Cavani to Josh. Was it Callum Wilson or Josh King?
I think Josh King.
Josh King, man. Oh my God, Josh! We actually made a bid of like 20. I think it was 20 mil, and then Bournemouth knew we were desperate for a striker, so they just went, "Nah, actually, you know what? We want 30 mil." So we were ready to bid 30 mil, but then we pulled out.
I'm glad we did. I'm actually glad we did, because you know,
the
man thing. You know, I think the problem with Magalo, he wants to be at the club. You know, he actually took a pay cut from China. His wages in China, and I reckon if Woodward said, "You know, Garlo, we want to keep you on," I reckon he'll probably take a proper pay cut. Do you know how much money he was in China? For him to come to sit on
at least
on the bench just because he loves Manchester United so much.
And I think I heard something like as a loyalty compensation or something. So he took a pay cut to come to Manchester United. When he goes back to China, he's going to sign a new deal and he's going to earn something like 400k a week or something stupid like that. So, so either way, it's a win-win situation for him, innit?
That's it. Fulfill childhood dream and get paid. Fulfill childhood dream and get paid. We've talked about centre-back, we've talked about front. I'd say probably left-back is another area of concern. We talked about this early in the episode, but yeah, left-back. Luke Shaw, he's had, close to 6 or 7 years now to prove himself and cement himself as the number one left-back at the club. He hasn't really been able to do that. Brandon Williams, promoted from the youth academy last season. Again, right-footed left-back, which is annoying in the first place. But even without that, he didn't really prove that he can be a number one choice at left-back. So it's good to see that we've been linked with Reguilon. I think Alex Telles has been offered to us as well. So I definitely think a left-back is another place where we're going to have to strengthen in order to be a proper competitive team. Luke Shaw as a backup, it's not the worst situation to be in.
I agree with you, because, like I said, one of these big teams are going to be in our group. And honestly, bro, I could not even fathom the idea that Luke Shaw would be up against a Leroy Sané or Kingsley Coleman or Serge Gnabry or whoever plays on those wings, bruv. And that's just Bayern Munich. You look at Real Madrid.
That's when we really realise what level United's at. When you have to put Luke Shaw up against a Serge Gnabry, then you're really gonna have to ask questions of your club.
And that has been my whole point for since we got out of the Europa League, and people were like, "Nah, Luke Shaw's been all right. He's been good. And remember when he won Player of the Season, and that means he's good." And I'm like, yeah, but just match up the teams one against each other. Yeah, just match up the teams and try and see what wingers would Luke Shaw be up against if we get one of the big guys. I just named all the wingers at Bayern Munich. Let's go to PSG. Would you fancy Luke Shaw up against Neymar? Hell no. You wouldn't. Would you fancy Luke Shaw up against Eden Hazard or Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr.? Would you fancy Luke Shaw up against Douglas Costa, Cristiano Ronaldo? Please not. Do you know what I'm saying? So I did those matchups and I was like, nah, we need to strengthen in that left back area because the Champions League, I'll say it again, man, the Champions League is a different planet. People don't seem to realize it. Maybe because they've been so used to the Europa League and they think it's easy, they think it's a competition where you can just walk in and win it on hard work and passion. No, the Champions League is levels. The Champions League is won on sheer and pure quality. And we've seen it in the past Champions League final. We've seen it. Yes, it was fine margins, but Bayern Munich's way all the way to the final. It's just pure quality.
Guys, I feel like you guys are overhyping the people in the Champions League because I can only count 4 solid teams here that I know that are amazing, that can do a madness in Europe. And it hurts me to say Liverpool, Bayern, PSG and Man City. Fair enough, Man City falls short or whatever, but they're making signs, innit? I'm not really scared against the other teams that are still there. Like I personally feel like if we get the right signings, Ole has to go. He has to go.
That came out of nowhere.
Ole has to go.
Another topic we will get onto, but later on. So we've talked about centre back, we talked about left back, and we talked about striker. Is there any other position? I'd probably say cover for Matic or even improvement on Matic, because Matic, you've seen that when Matic first came back from the lockdown, he looked as if he was prime 2014, 2015 Matic, covering the ground, breaking up the players like, fam, where did this player come from? And then you remember he has to play another 5 games, and then you see that the legs have gone. That's exactly what's going to happen this season. If he plays too many games, we're going to get the crap match that takes too many touches, that loses the ball. You're going to get that match, and once that happens, then we're going to be under so much pressure because we have no competent DM to replace him. So I'd definitely say another DM to replace Matic, or at least give Matic some breathing room, some pressure.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I don't think Matic has the legs to be playing 40, 50 games a season. You know what? I actually checked the schedule the other day and I tried to include, I virtually tried to include Champions League games, during the week. And I think after every midweek game in the Champions League, whether it's on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday, we've got one of the top 6 sides until December. And we've got 2 away games, I think, to Southampton and what was the other team? I think it was Aston Villa. I'm not sure. But after every Champions League game in the week, we've got one of the top 6. So I can't see, for example, Matic play 90 minutes against a Bayern Munich, for example, in the group stages, and then rest 3-4 days, and then on a Sunday play 90 minutes against the Liverpool or Man City. We're gonna have to have more players so we can rotate because the legs are going to be heavy. Certain players are going to pick up injuries and there'll be suspensions involved and all these things. So, yeah, man, a CDM, that can cover for Matic or that can play ahead of Matic is definitely important to me as well.
Audrey, any other transfers you feel like, or any other areas that we feel like we need to cover? Which we're on mute. So I'm going to move on to the next point of business. Our academy has been famed for bringing through players. And last season, we saw the emergence of guys like Brandon Williams, Mason Greenwood come into the setup, even get new contracts this season to cement their place in the first team squad. Is there any players that you see coming through the academy, the under 23s, the 18s that you feel like could have an impact on the first team squad this season?
Yes, actually. The guy that we got from Monaco, the French guy.
Hannibal.
Hannibal Mejbri. I went to see him once in the reserve game pre-lockdown, and he looked really good, man. I'm not going to lie to you. He looks really, really good. Typical French number 10, very technical, vision, passing range looks all right as well. Obviously, he's going to develop as he gets older, and I can see him get a few minutes maybe in the Carabao Cup And yeah, maybe even make the bench for a few league games if, obviously, I hope not. If, let's say, we've got too many injuries, I can see him come in and be on the bench. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. And another one I'm looking forward to see is the under-23s right back, Ethan Laird.
Okay.
I like him a lot as well. So those two, I think, will get their opportunities.
Yeah. It's a shame. Who said that again?
So, sorry, guys. So, hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Do you think once that last guy comes through, that's Aaron Wan-Bissaka done?
So did you hear the question, Aaron?
No, I didn't. Can you repeat it, please?
So I said, yeah, you reckon if that last guy pulls through, do you think that's Aaron done? Like, that's it?
I don't think Aaron will be done, but I just think he'll get competition, which is good. I think competition for places makes a player better. So I think if Laird comes through and he gets his opportunities, or let's say as many as Wan-Bissaka, he's going to look at it and go, oh, maybe I need to step my game up and try and be better so I can solidify my spot as a first choice. I've always said I like competition for places because ultimately that's what made Luke Shaw, become better, let's say. Because before Williams came through, my God, Luke Shaw was just way too comfortable. You could just see it. You can literally tell his body language was saying, and nobody's fighting. Nobody else. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but nobody else is fighting for this left back spot, so I can do whatever I want. So, and then Williams came through, and that pushed him to be better. So, yeah, competition for places. I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
A bit of a sidebar, a bit of a side note. What is it like? What is everyone's thoughts on Wan-Bissaka? Because we've got two schools of thoughts on him. That he's an excellent defender and he has the potential to go forward, being a better attacker in the second season of United. But there's some school of thought that's saying he just lacks the technical ability. He's too clumsy. What do you lot feel about Aaron Wan-Bissaka?
Sorry, I'm okay. You know what? Yeah, he's actually a really good defender or whatever. He's actually really good. But the problem with today's game is that everyone's left back. They're going up, they're attacking, innit? Everyone knew that that's not what Aaron Wan-Bissaka was doing in Crystal Palace. So why would you expect him to do it in a team like Man United? If you look at everything here, no one in the league is better than 1v1.
That's true.
I agree with Audrey. And the thing with Wan-Bissaka is, like she said, at Crystal Palace, he wasn't expected to do all this attacking stuff. Now he's at Manchester United, but I think even at Man United, he hasn't had the help because on the wing, I personally feel like if I was a right back, I would love to have a partnership with the right winger. But it's been hard for Wan-Bissaka, man, because the right wing, before Greenwood came through and scored and started to do bits, Daniel James weren't helping him. Daniel James was not really helping him, and way too often.
He needs to leave the club today, this night. In fact, this night.
You know what I said? If Sancho comes in, I reckon he should actually look for a new club because he's gonna get peaked, man, in terms of minutes.
Do you know
it's gonna get peaked.
He's so sad because he has the dream team. I mean, the dream like storyteller. Like, okay, he came from Swansea. Sad, his dad died. Now he's at one of the biggest club in Manchester. How could you go wrong? Like, how could how could the fairy tale go wrong? He's actually crap. He's actually shit.
He's another one that's living the dream.
Players that are fast, yeah.
He's another one that's living he's another one that's living the dream. Like, he's got a good contract at United, probably another 4 more years in that contract. He's not going to look to go anywhere. He's going to tell the press, I want to fight for my place. I'm going to keep working until the manager has faith in me.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's going to say that.
You're at United. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He doesn't want to go to. Where's he going to go to? A Crystal Palace or who else? I don't even Aston Villa. When you're at United, you're playing Champions League football. What's motivating you to leave? You just gave him a contract. He's going to stick it through.
He's actually crap.
But you know what? To finish off my point quickly, I don't think Wan-Bissaka has been helped by any of the right wingers that played there, apart from Greenwood. Because very often, like when you see Wan-Bissaka go forward and he crosses it in, very often he has to go past
He's
the
by
left
himself
winger.
out there. He's by himself.
And then he
out
has to
there.
go past the left back as well. So exactly. He's by himself.
All
So,
right,
yeah, I think
a wasteland for years. It's been a wasteland for years. There's been nothing.
he needs help, man. I think Wan-Bissaka needs help on that right-hand side to be a bit better this season as well. And hopefully that help comes from Sancho.
Guys, do you reckon? Do you reckon if Valencia was still at the club, he would have been?
Jesus Christ! You don't bring up Valencia. You don't bring up Valencia to me. I used to love Valencia when he was at first at the club. Like that one move he did, and it banged all the time. I used to love
the time.
him. I've never seen the guy have one move pop so successfully. One move. That's all he needed. But once he did this, I think he did his ACL or he did a cruciate or he had a mad injury. That move, it just wasn't as effective anymore. Like that was the man had to move.
He put on bare weight as well. Looked like put on bare weight and looked like a middleweight class boxer.
What? Oh, Valencia. No, he would have done a better job than what's his name now. 100%. 100%.
He done a better.
He would have done a better job than what's Daniel? Is it Daniel? I can't stand him, man.
Daniel James. I think the big problem with Daniel James is his decision making. I think his decision making is just shocking.
He doesn't have a football brain.
I don't know.
He doesn't have a football brain. That's the problem. Like he's moving so fast, but he can't dribble. He can't really cross like off the dead ball. Like when it's time to make a good decision, he more than likely is not going to make it. That's the problem.
Nice. Do you know what? Yeah, they need to. Do you know what? Gigs should be sanctioned for actually recommending Daniel James.
Absolutely.
I hate it because, like, the only reason there's only one connection that he decided to take him, and we all know what it was.
Yep.
Is it from because they're both? Is it Welsh?
Yep, they're both Welsh. That's why we got linked to David Brooks from Bournemouth at one point.
And Giggs needs to chill. He needs to relax. He has to relax because
that's what I mean.
When he was our manager for like those last games, did he even win any game? He won two games. But still, like, he needs to relax.
There was
one where he subbed himself on, didn't it?
Oh yeah, the last home game.
There was the game where Giggs subbed himself on.
He's a criminal.
Nah, we should have stopped. We should talk.
Any Giggs co-sign, stay far away from that player. I feel like that's the moral of the story. Any co-sign from Giggs, stay away. Moving on to one of the final questions. What would constitute? So we're gonna be competing in the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup. What would constitute a successful season for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Sorry, a club like Man United should be winning the Prem. No excuses. I'm not going to say Champions League because we've only won it like, what is it, 3 times?
Yep.
Or whatever. So I'm not going to be like, oh, Man United should be winning because when Fergie was there, he wasn't dominating like that too tough. But fair enough, he had Pete Barcelona. But it's the Prem. Like we've been winning the Prem. That should be what we should be doing. Yes, we should win the FA Cup, but win the other cups. But the Prem should be our priority. But it's not going to happen because you have teams like Liverpool, teams like Man City, teams like Chelsea as well. They're probably gonna one of them will win it ahead of us. But for me, I wouldn't mind Man United winning. Oh no, those cups are dead. I know silverware. You get remembered for winning silverware, but it's dead. But then again, we might fall out Champions League to the Euro. I'll take that over the other cups you listed and to maybe top 3 again.
Okay, so you're saying top 3, possibly a cup, would be a successful season?
Yeah, more or less, because we're not going to win the league.
Aaron, what about you?
I'm going to say the same. I'm going to say top 3. I think top 3 now is a minimum requirement, especially with the signings, the type of signings that we've made. Top 3 is a minimum requirement. League Cup, FA Cup, we should be winning these with all due respect to the other teams. And in the Champions League, I'm not going to set my expectations too high because it is a tough competition. Once you get past those latter stages, round of 16, quarterfinals, it gets harder. So I'm not going to have too too many expectations for that. But what I am going to say is, when Ollie came in, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and time. We've gone past the opportunity of winning trophies last season. This is now the season where we need to win something. Like, I don't want to be sitting here with you guys next year and still talk about we've made progress. No, I want to be sitting here with you guys next season around the same time and say, oh my God, do you remember when we won this trophy or this trophy? Do you know what I'm saying? Or we went this far in the Champions League and we finished top 3 in the league. That's what I want. That's what I want to be saying next season, at the end of next season. So I don't want no more excuses, no more progress this, progress that. Yeah, but he doesn't have his players and he's not back. He's been back from the day he's been here. Like, people seem to forget. We spent 80 M's on Maguire. We spent 50 on Wan-Bissaka. We spent 50 to 60 on Bruno Fernandes. We spent 40 on Van der Beek. We're about to spend, let's say, hypothetically, 120 on Jadon Sancho. That's way more than backed. That's literally saying, bro, we trust you. So it's time to deliver now.
I'm not being funny, yeah. I feel like Ole's never going to take Man United to the top. I feel like his job was to get rid of the deadwood, bring in some players and just wave goodbye. Like, literally, because if you look at the other managers in the league, Ole doesn't rank top 5 or top 6, if I'm being honest. People criticize Mourinho, yeah. People would probably rank Mourinho higher than, Ole in the league. And they can, because Mourinho's won stuff. How can, I swear Ole put 3 semi-finals or whatever in one season.
Yeah.
That's pathetic. That's if you guys believe that's the type of guy that's going to take us to the top and win us our next title, then every Man United fan is living in a bubble. They live in a bubble.
I feel the same way. I absolutely agree with you. I think Ollie is he's like he's the middleman. He just came in to make things a bit, look nice and shiny and then move on and then leave it to the next manager, whoever that can be. And I think the board are looking at it the same way, I think they're looking at this and saying, it's time to deliver. And if you don't, we're going to have to let you go, because normally...
the players love him.
Yeah, but I think I know the players love him, but the way I'm seeing it is, by now, because everyone loves him and he's a club legend and everyone loves him, I reckon by now, technically speaking, he should have gotten a new contract or he should have signed one, but he hasn't, and he's entering his last year of his contract. So the board is definitely telling him now it's time to deliver, and if you don't, we're gonna have to let you go and not continue with you.
For me, I feel like the board has been so slow to be decisive in the past. We saw with Van Gaal, we saw with Mourinho, like, their time was up long before they left the role. Like, you could see that they needed to go long before when they were actually sacked. So with Ole, I agree with you in terms of, I feel like he's very close to his ceiling at United. I don't see him getting us over the hump, getting us that much closer to Manchester City and Liverpool in terms of making us challenge. But at the same time, this club has been in the last couple of years, this club has been so used to mediocrity and so used to letting mediocrity slide. I'm so fearful that if he gets a cup win and possibly a top 3, that'll be enough for him to get another. It was good enough this season for him, because for me personally, I didn't really expect him to get top 6. Top 4.
I'm going to have to agree with you.
I feel like if he gets another season of top 3 and possibly a cup win, that'll be enough for him to get a contract. And that's scary, because again, where do we go after that? Does he take us over the top to challenge Liverpool and City? Not in my opinion personally. So for me, a successful season for Ole will probably be top 3 and a cup. But a successful season for United fans and Manchester United has to be...
Guys, sorry, my fingers keeps jumping.
Sorry, wait.
Yeah, mine as well.
Is everyone calibrated now?
Yeah, it's better now, sorry.
But yeah, essentially, for Ole, top 3 and a cup would be a very successful season. And knowing Woodward and knowing the board will probably be enough for him to get a new contract. But for United, we need to be back to... as you said, we've spent the money. We're going to be spending the money on Sancho and whatnot. We need to be closer to Liverpool and City especially. We need to close that gap.